All right, it's another beautiful day in the fort, and the property that I'm working on is this one. Let me talk to you about it. All right, so I just finished doing some fertilizer and weed control on this property here. And as you can see, it needs some work. Now, some people would love this and they say, oh, that's beautiful. But it was just looking like this one. And so anyways, it's come a long ways. Now, I thought I'd made a video of this lawn here previously, but apparently I didn't. This was a lawn that had just a whole ton of moss in it, and just the entire thing was bare, and it was filled up with crabgrass and weeds. And so I've been to this property once so far. This is my second time coming here, and you can already see hopefully a vast improvement. You may say, well, it looks a little bit shaggy, and you'd be right, but that's intentional because sometimes in order to push roots, deep roots, you need a tall plant to create that structure. And then this is the sprinkler that we have out here. Now, this one here will go all the way from the back corner of that tree all the way over to here, but it doesn't even water all the way down. It'll get to that concrete, and then it'll kind of come to, yeah, there you go. You can see the line. It'll come like this. So it misses that corner there, and then it goes out into the road, misses a little corner there. And I didn't do like a 360 with it. So you can see this section here is also dry. But, you know, I'm really big on simplicity. And if we can fix 95% of a lawn with water, then let's do that. Let's go for that. You can still see there's moss in there. And there's definitely some issues here. The tall height on this grass is masking a lot of the bareness. In fact, even if I zoom in, it's really hard to see how much bareness there is. So total ground cover, we're looking at probably less than 50% actual ground cover. But I'm suspecting the reason why we have such bare soil underneath is because the last time I was here, I really blasted this particular property with weed killer, and so then it opens up, it exposes the bare spots. I had a really tough decision to make. I was trying to decide whether I should not do any weed killer here on this particular visit and just aerate and overseed with lime. But because we still have roughly 25% density with these weeds here, I think what I chose to do, I should say, is I decided to blast it and totally blast with weed killer. And then I went along this edge. Anywhere I see crabgrass or foxtail, that's foxtail there. It looks very similar. Go ahead and spray that with some quinclorac. Now, you do have some of this ground ivy here. Actually, that one there is purple violet. When it's mowed, sometimes the leaves look really round. An adult plant will have more of like a heart-shaped leaf. But you've got some really armored up purple violet that is not going to die right now. But you do have a lot of other broadleaf weeds here, which I suspect in these clovers and whatnot, I suspect a lot of these broadleafs and everything is because we're putting a lot of water on this particular property. We were watering it 2 times a day at 30 minutes per zone, but I think we can get a really good grass, what I would call grass flush on this property if we double the water for the next 2 weeks. So I did that. I did it every 6 hours at 30 minutes a zone. You see all this foxtail, and it's kind of scattered throughout. So I said, you know what? I want to make a decision. You know, it's my property to work on, and I'm going to make the decision to fertilize heavy, push some top growth, hopefully push some root growth too, and then up the water and spray the weeds. And then in, you know, maybe 2 weeks or so, I'll come back and aerate it heavy, lime it heavy, and we won't be able to put down the grass seed, not this year. But already I see a ton of progress on this lawn. I really want to show you this backyard because this one here has made a lot of progress. Oh, before I get there, I just want to point out we've got some crabgrass, we've got some Bermuda grass, and we even have some nimblewill with just a really strange combination of stuff growing between the two gutters. All right, first thing I noticed back here is obviously she has much better soil, and she's got much better germination back here. I like the density way better. I like the color way better. And I feel like the secret ingredient making this area back here grow so much better is, I know for a fact she's got a dog. So that dog is putting a lot of organic matter on this property, if you know what I mean. So now you can see I sprayed this stuff here pretty heavily last time with Battleship, even though understanding that it's just going to set it back. It won't actually kill it with Battleship, not right now, not the triclopyr, not the dicamba, not anything else, until it puts out that little purple flower. And even so, it's struggling in a way that makes me very happy. But I'm not going to spray this stuff today. Go. Now I sprayed back here quite heavily too last time I was here. And what do you see? You see a lot of the weeds are gone, but you do see remnants of crabgrass, Bermuda grass, nimblewell. So, and then you can see somebody came back here with a lawnmower and really mowed it super low. So, but this thing was just covered up in clovers and dandelions, and so the weed density has dramatically diminished. Now I need to spray some quinchloric and some tenacity here and clear this stuff out. But I don't know, in a situation like this where it's behind a fence, it's in a drainage area, it might be better to have that rather than to have weeds. So out here, obviously inside of the yard, we're going to try to have ornamental grass, obviously. I don't know if the homeowner wants to spend the money on grass seed back here or not. I'll have to find out. Okay, so to recap, and the reason why I'm making this video is because you may be wondering to yourself, okay, we did a fertilizer in the summer. We did some weed killer in the summertime. What should I do now that it's fall, it's September? Should I do grass seed because everybody else is doing grass seed, or what should I do? Well, I think the answer is it's a 50-50 split. It kind of depends. And I hope you understand why I decided to do what we did out here today with this one. I just feel like she has way too many weeds. And anytime you put on grass seed, you always plant weed seed too. It's very obnoxious how that works. But alrighty, well, anyways, I'm off to the next one. Hope that video helps. Michael Bell, SuperGreen Lawn Care, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Have a good day. See ya.